All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're tackling something that is an absolute game changer if you've ever tried to automate sustainability assessments directly within building design models. Now, if you've worked on a project aiming for a building sustainability rating, like LEED, for example, you know the process. It often feels like an endless paper chase, right? It usually ends with someone frantically searching through outdated spreadsheets. It's highly fragmented, wildly resource intensive, and honestly, super prone to errors. But what if your building model could just tell you its sustainability score in real time? Well, today we are unpacking some groundbreaking research that introduces the LOIN framework. It's a system built on the brand new ISO 7817 standard that finally bridges the gap between building information modeling, or BIM, and sustainability certifications. Here's how we're breaking this explainer down. First, the sustainability assessment problem. Then we'll look at ISO 7117 and LOIN. Next, the LOIN framework explained, followed by 4 steps to integration, and we'll wrap it all up with the massive time-saving benefits. So, starting off with Section 1, the sustainability assessment problem. We all know the traditional way, right? Teams get stuck in this terrible, reactive loop of disconnected spreadsheets and totally delayed feedback. An architect makes a design change, and then crickets. Weeks later, a consultant finally calculates how that single change impacted the LEED score. But the modern, integrated workflow we're exploring today, it completely flips the script. It centralizes everything right inside the BIM environment for real-time validation, making you proactive instead of reactive. You can really see the visual contrast here. On one side, it's this chaotic web of fragmented communication. You've got the lead consultant just frantically trying to pull data from site info, the design teams, the clients. It's a mess. But compare that to a clean, centralized BIM hub. Here, the model is the absolute single source of truth for everyone. All stakeholders feed directly into the BIM model, and the lead assessment is extracted straight from it. No more conflicting spreadsheet versions. Moving right along to Section 2, enter ISO 7817 and LOIN. Here's the really crucial point. LOIN, which stands for Level of Information Need, is completely replacing those old, static LOD 100 to 500 labels. For years, the whole industry relied on that LOD scale to figure out how much detail a model needed. But let's be real, those labels were way too rigid. The newly published ISO 7817-1 standard completely changes the game. It uses dynamic, highly specific data requirements tailored to your exact milestone and use case. It forces teams to define exactly what information is needed, exactly when it's needed, and by whom. It breaks down into some highly actionable prerequisites. Before you even touch a model, you're defining the purpose, the milestone, the actor, and the object, the why, when, who, and what of your data. Then it defines the how across 3 distinct buckets: geometrical info, alphanumerical info, and documentation. Think about it. You don't need to blindly model a hyper-detailed 3D door if all you actually need is a simple 2D placeholder with a specific text parameter for its thermal rating, right? Okay, Section 3, the LOIN framework explained. Enter LOIN, literally the green level of information need. Think of it as the ultimate bridge. It's a framework that embeds specific sustainability-related parameters directly into your model, meaning you only capture what's absolutely necessary. By defining a green LOIN based on that ISO standard we just talked about, design teams get a specialized BIM template. And this template has all the necessary placeholders for lead data. It ensures the model has the exact right amount of detail for an assessment. No more wasted time, no missing info. This whole thing is built on 5 core principles. We're talking real-time data exchange to catch performance gaps super early. It uses standardized data structures so it can integrate with pretty much any rating system. It's incredibly simple to use, which lowers the barrier to entry. It demands a strictly defined level of information to literally stop your team from over-modeling. And importantly, it aligns with standard organizations. This isn't just some rogue workaround. It's built directly on recognized international frameworks. All right, on to Section 4. 4 steps to integration. If you're wondering how to actually implement this into your standard workflow, the framework outlines 4 highly actionable steps. Step 1. You analyze the specific lead credit requirements. Step 2, you define the green level of information based on those exact rules and create your Revit parameters as placeholders. Step 3, you program a plugin using an API to read those parameters. And step 4, boom, you generate that actual live lead score right there inside the software. Let's make this concrete and apply it to the green vehicles credit. You can see the clean, decision-based logic flow the plugin uses to evaluate compliance instantly. The rules here say that 5% of all parking spaces have to be designated for green vehicles, and 2% must be equipped with EVSE, electric vehicle supply equipment. Instead of a human manually counting parking spots on a printed PDF plan, which, let's face it, is painfully tedious, the code automatically checks these conditions against the live data in the BIM model. Hit the threshold, you get the lead point. It's that simple. And this is where it really prevents the design team from going overboard and over-modeling. In the Properties panel, under Green Building Properties, you literally just have checkboxes for green vehicles and EVSE. The architect doesn't need to spend hours modeling a gorgeous, highly detailed 3D electric charging station to get the point. They just check the box on a simplified parking space asset. That is the true power of the GLON framework. It focuses solely on the exact alphanumerical data needed for the assessment. Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, massive time-saving benefits. To prove this wasn't just some nice theory, researchers deployed the framework on a massive, real-world 2 million square meter hospitality project in Riyadh called the Arrival Courtyard. And the results? When the design team tested the LOIN plugin, they reported a staggering 60 to 70% reduction in time spent on lead documentation. I mean, think about the impact that has on your project budgets and deadlines. Instead of exporting data, sending it to a consultant, and waiting weeks for an answer, the architect could instantly see how their design choices impacted the certification. By treating the BIM model as the ultimate single source of truth, they minimized manual entry errors big time. They took a fragmented evaluation process that used to be over 10 steps and crushed it down to just 3 or 4 direct steps. The team actually highlighted that the interface was so intuitive, they didn't even need formal training to start using it. More importantly, it completely stopped the design team from wasting effort modeling unnecessary geometry, which is exactly the optimized philosophy ISO 7817 is going for. The result is this incredible real-time feedback right inside Revit. You never even have to open an external spreadsheet. The live plugin output calculates that exactly 3.125% of spaces are designated for green vehicles. And because that falls short of the 5% requirement, it instantly returns 0 points. The designer gets that feedback immediately. They can adjust the parking allocation on the spot, rerun it, and secure that lead point in seconds. We are rapidly moving away from those outdated static systems in the digital construction industry. We left the simplistic LOD labels behind. The standard shifted in 2020 and then took a massive leap forward in 2024 with ISO 7817-1. Looking ahead, the industry is moving toward completely machine-readable schemas, with Part 3 currently under development. So integrating frameworks like GLOI into this data-driven environment isn't just a cool efficiency hack. It's literally future-proofing your projects, because this is where the entire global industry is heading, for sure. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to consider for your next project. If your BIM model already knows the environmental impact of every single asset, why on earth are you still calculating sustainability by hand? The data is sitting right there in your files, just waiting to be leveraged. It's time we let the models do the heavy lifting. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this sparks some incredible ideas for streamlining your next sustainable build.